It's sheer murder. I hate it.
The victim is a young rhino bull that's been dead for several weeks. It's the job of ESPU's anti-poaching unit and agents like Inspector Gerald Boucher to track down the killers.
Right, this rhino has been poached. It's been shot here. They believe that the rhino was in a trap and ran in a circle. If you look at the trees and the bushes in this area, all the trees are broken and they are flat.
The young rhino was killed for its horn, which will draw as much as $1,800 on the black market. Even though the trail is cold, Inspector Boucher decides to stake out the area. He and Inspector Charles Bernhardt plan to camp out in the hills for a week and watch for suspicious activity. A week in the bush. Snakes, spiders, mosquitoes. For ESPU's anti-poaching unit, it's all part of the job.
It gets boring doing this surveillance, but you have to keep it up because you have one chance of seeing movement, and if you miss that, you've wasted your time.
Boucher, Bernhardt, and the rest of the 15-member anti-poaching unit train for all types of situations. They go after poachers and also provide the muscle and firepower for ESPU's undercover operations. A sophisticated modern police unit, they use state-of-the-art technologies like radio tracking devices and night vision goggles to pursue poachers night and day. Theirs is a dangerous job, and they take their training seriously. The opposition can be carrying anything from wooden sticks to automatic assault rifles. The agents never know. Back in the hills, the stakeout has turned up nothing. After 2 days of little sleep and a night of rain, Boucher and Bernhardt decide to pack it in. It's time for the anti-poaching unit to switch tactics and make its presence felt.
From here on, we will go back and regroup with the others and dress up in our uniform, and for the rest of today and tomorrow we will do a proactive or visible policing.
The Umfolosi and Shlishlui game reserves. Nestled beneath a blanket of clouds are 600 square miles of pristine wilderness. It's home to a variety of endangered and threatened animals. Among them is the largest concentration of white and black rhinos anywhere in the world. ESPU's anti-poaching unit conducts high-profile, highly visible patrolling in most of South Africa's national parks and private game reserves. Like cops on the beat, they want the bad guys to know they're around and to steer clear. Highly mobile, they can cover the park's roads and trails all in a day. Each park has its own unique security problems. Umfolosi and Shlishlui are separated by a main road that runs down the middle and is open to cars 24 hours a day. It's also surrounded by rural villages with thousands of people living on the edge. Poverty and easy access make the park's game a very tempting target. While they're patrolling, the park superintendent and ESPU Sergeant Razzie Erasmus discover a fresh set of dog tracks, a sign there may be a poacher nearby.
Die honde hulle het iets op bo gesien.
Ja, heb ik gezien.
Inspector Boucher radios back. A suspect has been detained just outside the park. Poachers run the gamut from those who hunt to feed their families to professionals who go after rhino horn and elephant tusks. This guy has all the trappings of a small game poacher. Hunting dogs to catch and disable the prey, knob carry sticks to administer the final blow to the head. But he doesn't have any fresh kill with him. There's little the agents can do except report him to his chief and rely on tribal justice. Their patrolling finished, ESPU's anti-poaching unit has to move on. With too few agents and too many parks, they have to target their efforts and hope that their message has been heard. South Africa's Endangered Species Protection Unit was established in 1989. 43 agents up against a black market trade that exceeds $2 billion a year worldwide. In the past 8 years, the ESPU has made 971 arrests, confiscated 918 endangered or threatened plants, 781 reptiles, 466 birds, 254 rhino horns, and 4,127 ivory tusks. International operating agreements have made ESPU a vital force in the protection of endangered species throughout southern Africa. Kruger National Park, South Africa. 8,000 square miles of grassy plain, woodlands, and wild animals. Kruger was established a century ago as a public reserve where the animals would be protected. Today it is world-renowned as a center for wildlife management. ESPU's anti-poaching unit is here in force to try to stop a growing problem, the theft of Kruger's lions. Adjacent to the park, just across that fence, is a private game reserve which charges a fee for hunting its animals. The owner is trying to trap one of the park's lions. If he's successful, he stands to make about $15,000. ESPU knows that the private reserve has a client arriving who expects to hunt lions. According to their informants, there are none on the property. When Inspector Gerald Boucher gets word that an animal trap has been set just outside the park, he and a team of agents go to check it out. They find a trap hidden in the bush and a break in the barbed wire disguised with pieces of wood. The electrified fence has also been tampered with. It's clear the owner of the private reserve is trying to lure one of the park's lions onto his property.
The trap was set. The door was open, there was meat inside. The meat was old, or it looked old from where we were. And as it is, the older the meat, the better it becomes to lure the lions.
To make its case, ESPU must catch the owner of the game reserve red-handed. The operation will involve 9 ESPU agents, park rangers, and investigators from South Africa's northern province. An extraordinary effort, due in part to a television report showing a lion lured from the park, then set up for an easy kill. The theft was clearly illegal, but it was the way the lion was hunted, a practice known as canning lions, that caused public outrage. Don Scott is an investigator for South Africa's northern province.
The so-called can lion
is where a lion is confined in a very small camp, or it is taken out of a small camp, placed in a larger area, normally under drugs, which is completely unethical. And the hunter is then misled that this lion is actually on a kill or on a bait, and he is taken to this animal and the animal is shot.
A police airplane takes off to join in the investigation. Its mission? To take aerial photographs of the border and search for additional traps. Agents will use the photos to look for suspicious activity on a number of private reserves. At the same time, investigators on the ground are questioning the suspect's neighbors.
A lot of the witnesses have been very reluctant to talk to us. There has been a lot of mass intimidation. Witnesses have been phoned, threatened, and one witness was in fact forced off the road 3 times after he made a statement to us.
Investigators settle in for a long stakeout. They suspect that animals are being stolen from other national parks as well, and they're eager to make an arrest. Midnight. Time to deploy some high-tech electronic surveillance. ESPU is going to plant a special listening device near the cage. Equipped with night vision goggles, Sergeant Alex de Boer and a team of agents set out for the park boundary. The goggles amplify ambient light and will enable them to spot the private reserve owner or his men should they be in the area. The agents are well armed. De Boer and the others are taking no chances. They hide the listening device in a tree on park property a short distance from the trap. A super-sensitive microphone, it's attached to a transmitter and powered by a solar battery. If a lion enters the trap, agents at the command center 2 miles away will hear the gate slam shut. The next day, Boucher and Sergeant Stephen Sonder come out to make sure the listening device is well hidden. If you didn't know what to look for, you'd never know it was there. While they're checking the transmitter, they have a close call. The game reserve owner suddenly shows up to check the trap. The pressure is on. He needs a lion.
The hunter is been confirmed. The hunter's on the farm, waiting to shoot his lion. So, I mean, something should happen soon.
The hunter knows nothing about the attempt to steal the park's lion. He's scheduled to leave in less than 2 weeks. ESPU beefs up its surveillance. It brings in an additional park ranger to work with Agent de Boer.
Ja, okay, nee, is reg hoor.
5 days have gone by, and still no lion in sight. No lion, no bust. Surveillance continues around the clock. ESPU will spend well over 5,000 man-hours on this case alone. But in the end, Mother Nature intervenes. A brush fire drives all the animals away from the area. ESPU, hunter and game reserve owner all come away empty-handed. But ESPU has no intention of giving up. It has begun nearly 40 investigations in response to the canned lion scandal. As for this case, it's still open.